What's up, everyone? Welcome into Picks and Parlays Power Hour. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow me on Twitter by that username below at @HannMears_. We've got a lot of picks to talk to you about today, from everything basketball to football. But first, I want to remind you of something called NoHouseAdvantage.com. No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. All you have to do is sign up now with promo code P&P at NoHouseAdvantage.com or download the app on the App Store to get a first deposit match up to $50. Now it's time to bring in our first guest, Cam. We've got some NCAA basketball to talk about, and this one is interesting, Cam. Iowa State heads to Mountaineer territory to take on West Virginia, and this unranked WVU team is actually favored in this matchup against the number 11 Cyclones. Iowa State looking for their fifth win in 7 games, but not being favored. What's going on here, and what is your pick?
Yeah, Iowa State, a couple of games ago, they had a huge lead on the road against Texas Tech, and they completely folded. They blew a 23-point lead in the last 12 minutes, but then they responded with a complete domination of Kansas. I'm not really sure as to why this number is like this, and I'm going to just say thank you. West Virginia does have the better offense, but Iowa State has a defense allowing more than 8 points less per game, and we think that's going to be the difference. Mm-hmm. I've actually seen this number up to 4 in some places, and I'm going to give the Cyclones the points because I think at the very least they're going to play it tough. I don't think West Virginia can take the pressure, can do it all the way through. The home crowd is going to be loud, but I'm going to give the points to the ranked team who is, to me, playing a little bit better basketball as of late.
Yeah, and then when you look at this as a whole too, West Virginia's been playing great this season. Don't get me wrong, but when you do have a ranked team coming in, there's just a little bit of a feel of stuff going on in the back of your head, and you just would think that it would be a little bit closer than what I think they're giving West Virginia credit for. But we'll see. Iowa State plus 3.5 is what you like in this one, so that's at the NCAA level. Now let's move into some NBA. We've got to talk, and this one interesting. Mavericks at Clippers. Clippers favored at -8, rightfully so with the basketball they've been playing lately. But I think we're seeing this number 2 because Luka is still a little bit uncertain, most likely won't be playing tonight. But also, Kyrie era is beginning in Dallas, and I think that gives them just a slight advantage in this one in terms of not being totally out of it. Whereas if Kyrie wasn't there and Luka was out, I think this number might even be higher. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there is no Luka in this game for sure. Jason Kidd has said Kyrie is expected to join the team in LA and should be ready to go here. But even with Kyrie on the floor, they haven't really played together. They haven't done anything. There were several key pieces traded away for Kyrie. So the Mavericks are more shorthanded than they appear at face value. And this is the 4th time since early January the 3rd time since early January these two teams have played. And Dallas lost by 12 and then by 14. And they had more bodies. They were in a healthier spot. They were in a better spot. And we just, like you said, the Clippers have been playing really well. Dallas is going to be shorthanded. Even with Kyrie on the floor, no Luka. And there's a lot of guys around him that don't know Kyrie, that don't know his habits and his game style. So we're going to take the Clippers to, again, roll against Dallas and get the home win and cover as they post a big number.
Yeah, Luka's the identity of this team, and without him being the heart and soul and be there, I just don't see it happening. Pair him and Kyrie, maybe we've got a bit of a different story the more their chemistry grows, but for tonight, not going to have that. So I like your free play on this one, Cam, at the Clippers, -8. Thank you so much for that. Let's remind everyone as well, they can head over to our website if you like what we've got going on. If you want to see more of Cam, check out more of his stuff, you can use promo code SUPER. That'll save you 25% off our entire site at picksandparlays.net. Thanks so much, Cam, for your time. Everyone, don't forget, like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications because we are live, Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Cam.
Good luck.
Now it's time to bring in Tim because here on Picks and Parlays Power Hour, we've got some more basketball to talk here, Tim. Florida at Alabama, the number 3 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Mind you, favored at -9.5. They've got a perfect conference records, but can the Gators come in and do something about it? Or what do you like on this one? The total also sitting there at 148.5.
I mean, we did just see Florida beat Tennessee, right? But no, I don't see that tonight. I think Alabama's the stronger team. But when it came to this one, I think the 9.5 is pretty much right on. Florida's always a tough team. They'll play it close. This may be anywhere from, I think it's about right, 8 to 10 point game. I'm gonna go with the under. We get a Florida team that's playing some pretty good defense this year. 64.8 points allowed per game. And Alabama is sitting at 68.7. Although Alabama is scoring the 9th most amount of points in college basketball this year, 83. I think this one's going to be played more in the defensive angle. We look at what Alabama has done defensively recently. Pretty much other than that 93-point outburst by Oklahoma, they've been shutting teams down to under 70 points a game. So we'll go ahead and jump on the under 148.5 for this one.
Especially a team like Florida, when you're playing a team ranked that high like Alabama is, you always put an emphasis on that defense and just try to stay as possible, sometimes for as long as you can. So under 148.5 in this one, not a bad look. Now, something else I want to look at, though, is in the NBA. We've got two of the best squaring off in the 76ers and the Celtics. Celtics favored at -4.5, rightfully so. Total at 224.5. A lot of, I think that where that spread is right now is because Embiid could possibly, I don't know the final status on him, but I know there was questions around him playing tonight. So what do you think is going to happen when two of the best square off?
I mean, Embiid always has that question mark next to his name, like LeBron and AD every single game. It's kind of part of their name at that point. But now I will say my best bet on the site's on a side in this one, so I'll look at a total. I'm going to go under in this one as well. You get Philadelphia, who is the 4th best defense in the NBA. Boston, who is the 6th best defense. When we get a Eastern Conference matchup like this between some of the top teams, it's going to be the first one to 105, maybe 110 wins this game. It's going to be played down in the paint. It's going to be trying to find the best shot in that shot clock and killing the shot clock pretty much every possession. I would go under 218, 217. I think it lands in the low 2 teens for this one. So under between Philly and Boston.
Thinking a slower pace of a game in this one more than anything. So definitely drown out the clock. I've seen a couple unders hitting here and there lately as well with teams, maybe just the way sitting some guys at this point in the season, trying to slow down, not try to risk anything. So under 224.5 is what you like. If you like what Tim's got going on, make sure you check out our website, picksandparlays.net. Use a promo code, SUPER. Saves you 25% off the entire site. And don't forget, subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications because Picks and Parlays Power Hour is live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Tim. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Now on Picks and Parlays Power Hour, it is time to talk some NFL, and not just some NFL, the NFL game of the season. We're talking Super Bowl Sunday, Sean Higgs, Chiefs and Eagles. Eagles favored in this one at -5.5, total at 50.5. Listen, Mahomes, though, is going to square off against an intense pass rush. Hurts, though, is saying, hey, pick your poison. I can run. I can throw. We've got the ability to shut you down defensively. So tell me, initially, where are your thoughts on Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, and actually I've seen this just kind of went to a 2 in a couple spots. A little tick up there on Philly to 2. Now I have a side posted on the sites, so you have to go get my best play, and I've had a good NFL season at 63% or whatever. But I'm going to go with KC here. Now it's easy to say, oh, they have no wide receivers. Well, the only guy not playing is Hartman. He's out. He's on the injured list. Tony's going to play. Juju's playing. I still have Kelsey. This is not, people think this is some kind of barren team where they're going to wheel Mahomes out there like he's whoever. Brock Purdy last week. Look at terrible 2 weeks ago. I got Kansas City in a pick 'em. And again, that's where it should be. Philly all season, fabulous. Could have been an undefeated team if they had a healthy quarterback. I have rest with Andy Reid, who off of bye week is phenomenal, straight up. And again, I don't have to worry about covering spreads now because I'm a dog here. So I think I have a better head coach. I think the quarterback, say what you want, I think he's better. I mean, he's experienced in the spot. That's a big edge for me, I think, in the Super Bowl. On the flip side, that hurts. As good as he's been, he's looked a little rusty the last couple weeks. He hasn't really had a play. I mean, the Giant game at the end of the season was a scrimmage. He was just kind of going through months. He didn't play there in the playoffs. He had a blowout. He didn't have to do much there. Then the Niner game, we saw that played out. Here's your back to the wall now. You're gonna have teams that's ready for you. Are you 100%? Granted, nobody's 100%.
Yeah.
But I know what I'm going to get out of Mahomes. I've seen him hurt in the Super Bowl, still kind of run around and make plays. And again, the Philly defense, fabulous. I can't badmouth the team with 70 sacks on the year. But on the flip side, Kansas City didn't do too bad on the defense side. Rushing a pass against the ball. But money line, I got a Super Bowl winning head coach. I got a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. And I got a team that, as much as I thought Philly was disrespected coming into the NFC Championship game, people are all high on the Niners and their quarterback. I think there's zero respect for Kansas City here. I mean, I get the line flipping from one to Philly, sure. But I've heard nobody talk about the Chiefs. I just hear about how nobody's playing for the Chiefs and, Philly's greasing up the.
But I feel like a lot of that too is a lot of people saying, Kansas City seems like an old storyline because they've been there, done that so many times. It feels like we're always talking about them. So maybe that's why it seems like there's just so much more coverage and the storyline revolving around the Eagles and especially Jalen Hurts. But Patrick Mahomes being a quarterback that you can hurt his ankle, you can take away some of his receivers that might be injured. You can't count him out in these big games. And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but here's where I think the Eagles could get themselves in trouble. The Eagles have had a ton of hot starts this season, especially at home. Those first and second quarters, they've been dominant, but you can't let off the gas against a team like the Chiefs. And I think that's going to be maybe one of the biggest factors they have to watch out for in this one.
I was doing a show with Ross Benjamin today, and we're talking some props, and he was mentioning a Mahomes prop. Philly has only allowed one 300-yard pass run this season, believe it or not, which is, I was like, wow, that's kind of amazing considering as much as they jump out to big leads, right? The second half, no one's scoring. It's not the prevent defense isn't preventing anything because nobody's putting up, which is now it's some of the quarterbacks who play. They aren't Mahomes. Dak put up 300, which I think, Dak's pretty an upper echelon quarterback. People might not think he is, but I think he's better than Daniel Jones and Tyler Heineke and some of these guys that the Eagles defense have faced. But you're exactly 100% right. This is a team that's been to the Super Bowl, multiple Super Bowls, multiple championship games. They have you can't sleep on this team here. Not one bit. I mean, I'd say I think we're going to have a good game. There's a lot of storylines here. You got the Mahomes. Oh, my goodness. He's the next Tom Brady. You have Hurts is like, hi, I'm not even a first-round pick. Here I am. I was benched for 2 or whatever, right? I mean, like, whatever he happened with him down there. And then you have Andy Reid against his old team. You have Philly versus old Philly guy. Kelsey, it's a fun Super Bowl. But all I'm hearing is that, Kansas City's not healthy. It's not going to be a good game.
Hey, let's not forget, there are some great storylines, but let's not forget Philadelphia. Be careful. Also thinking you have this one locked away if it does happen to be a strong first half because the Niners had a little bit of struggle with that one with the giant comeback a couple of years back from the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs fans, they travel well, ladies and gentlemen. I was at that Super Bowl, and that place was rocking like it was Arrowhead Stadium. So Sean likes the Kansas City Chiefs. He's saying pick them on the money line early here for Super Bowl Sunday. Don't forget to get the rest of what Sean thinks about Super Bowl Sunday. Head over to our website, picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code SUPER. It'll save you 25% off. Like, subscribe. Ring that bell for notifications. We are live, Picks and Parlays Power Hour, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thanks so much, Sean.
Anytime.